Cordial greeting, my name is Ivonne Daniela Martinez. I study a degree in foreign language with an emphasis on English. I am 24 years old, I live in Tesalia Huila, and I am a housewife. Next, I am going to reflect on learning English through the teaching of former teachers. Throughout my educational career, I have had the opportunity to learn English under the guidance of three teachers with different styles and approaches. Professor Romaira, Professor Maria del Socorro, and Professor Johan. Each of them has left me valuable lessons that I can apply in my own language learning and development process. Professor Romaira focused on traditional methods such as translating text and memorizing grammatical rules. Although these methods were limited due to the lack of technology and resources, her dedication and efforts to include songs and educational games were key aspects that helped me the classes more dynamic. From her, I learned that although grammar and vocabulary are fundamental, it is also essential to incorporate playful elements in learning. If I had been Professor Romaira, I would have tried to involve the students more actively. I would have implemented more interactive activities that encourage the use of English in real situations, such as debates or group work. The constant inclusion of songs and games can not only motivate the students but also make language learning more meaningful and fun. Professor Maria del Socorro was strict about discipline and maintained the traditional approach to teaching, while its rigorous focus on grammar and memorization helped develop a solid foundation. The lack of oral interaction limited my communication skills. I learned that although it is important to master the rules of the language, it is also crucial to provide an environment where students can experiment and explore the language creatively. If I had been in her shoes, I would have integrated multimedia resources and interactive activities in the classroom. Group projects, presentation, and language game could have encouraged students to participate more actively and develop effective communication skills. Additionally, by fostering a collaborative environment, students would have had more opportunities to practice the language in real-world contexts. Professor Johan was an innovative teacher who used dynamic and participatory methods such as peer dialogues and the use of multimedia. His focus on interaction and teamwork fostered a stimulating learning environment. Fun activities such as translating and singing songs made learning English accessible and entertaining. If I had been Professor Johan, I would have continued to use interactive resources, but I would have also explored the use of digital platforms to make learning even more engaging. Incorporating podcasts or interviews in English would help students improve their listening comprehension and adapting to different accents. Also, it will have encouraged creativity in assignments, allowing students to express their ideas and thoughts more freely. As I reflect on this experience, I realize that the language learning process is not only about memorizing vocabulary and grammatical rules, but also about creating an environment that encourages interaction, creativity, and critical thinking. Teaching methods that use playful resources, interactive activities, and focus on real communication are essential for developing effective language skills. In my own English learning, I plan to incorporate these aspects into my studies. This includes finding interactive resources, participating in conversation groups, and making use of available technology to improve my listening and speaking skills. I am also committed to creating a studying environment that is both productive and enjoyable, where I can explore the language creatively. Finally, I think that my former teachers have taught me that English teaching can should be dynamic and adaptive, and that the most effective learning is achieved when theory is balanced with reality and fun practice. As I continue my journey in learning English, I will take these valuable lessons with me and apply them to improve my own language skills. Thank you for your time.